So, the genre I want to talk about in today's video is that of digital hardcore. Digital hardcore is a music genre that is typically fast, heavy, and aggressive, mixing elements of hardcore punk, industrial, and thrash subgenres of heavy metal, and combines them with techno or electronic music. The vocal style is often shouted by multiple band members, and it often references liberal or far-left, anti-fascist lyrics. Sometimes rap and freestyle is incorporated in the music as well. This idea was brought to me by a commenter on my first ever video, History of Trap Metal. The commenter mentioned the German digital hardcore band Atari Riot, who has a member named Alec Empire, who is regarded as inventing the music style and the band Atari Riot. I thought talking about the genre was rather interesting because it has a lot of similarities with the music I cover on my channel and the community I'm part of. Like trap metal or ragecore, digital hardcore uses electronic elements such as various guitar samples like electric or bass guitars, drum kits, and beat machines to give it its digital sound. It even shares the use of distortion, sometimes to a high degree like the modern syringe-inspired type distortion that we have in trap metal. I found that interesting because a lot of times people say that trap metal or ragecore is not really metal inspired at all because it doesn't use any live instruments. However, Atari Teenage Riot and other digital hardcore bands give proof that it doesn't have to be live instruments to necessarily be metal or at least be punk or rock. It was another reason is that Atari Teenage Riot and other digital hardcore bands were some of the first to revolutionize, pioneer, and establish this way of making music by electronically using sounds and incorporating them into samples and loops to make really harsh and distorted music. Very similar to this scene, which I wish I knew about this before I did my documentary. Digital hardcore is techno structured with punk and metal influence, like trap metal is trap structured with rock elements. Obviously, one of the main differences being the themes and the lyrics. Trap metal often uses anger, angst, despair, and even harsh violence, and in extreme cases, occult and satanic themes. Digital hardcore, however, was very politically driven, which is similar to old nu metal bands like Rage Against the Machine and Korn. Also, digital hardcore is still very band-oriented, while ragecore is still mostly solo and a rap form, just a very heavy form of it. As stated earlier, probably the most popular and the attributed creator of the genre is the band of Atari Teenage Riot, which was formed in 1992. They got the name Teenage Riot from a Portuguese song called Teenage Riot, and the Atari part from the known computer, the Atari ST, which they used to make compositions. The band was inspired by promoting anti-neo-Nazi extremism, being a German-based band, and they used the punk subculture as a way to form a movement through their music. They were eventually signed to Digital Hardcore Records, which is the label to release their debut album, Delete Yourself. And such as the Beastie Boys, Rage Against the Machines, the Wu-Tang Clan, 9 Inch Nails, Ministry, and so much more. They really made a name for themselves. However, the group went through some ups and downs. Crack. A member died on September 6, 2001 due to an apparent overdose. He struggled with psychiatric issues before, and this was a culmination of his downfall and his struggles in using it. In the late 2000s, the band reformed and began touring again. The band will continue to tour on May 2019 in London according to their website. Other digital hardcore groups are that of Cobra Killer, the Mad Capsule Market, and so much more that I just can't pronounce. The genre is not as popular anymore, and arguably even less popular than the underground rage scene in many cases. But it still left its mark on music history. One thing I wish that our underground community takes or inspires from it is the themes that it tries to endorse. I don't want to talk down on the community, but in my opinion, the overuse of gun references, violence, misogyny, Satanism, or secularism, and the like just doesn't really seem to give the music any maturity. Where groups like Atari Teenage Riot were focused on present issues in the world that people were actually angry at, and directly focused on channeling the anger towards them, which was positive. I won't lie, jumping around in the mosh pit to some catchy scream of something violent and arrogant is both fun and a release at times, but it often can come from arrogance rather than actually trying to help someone. Not that it's always bad, it's just good to feel good sometimes and let loose, but often we forget that as a community that is arguably and ironically loud, we can start pushing any mentality we want with our power. So why not push something positive or make as much people aware of an issue through our voice? Make it cool to be a good person again, but still have a little edge at times. So this was Life Happens. Let me know in the comments if you have any history with listening to any type of digital hardcore. Me personally, as if you know me, what I've said in previous videos, I'm relatively new to any rock style of music, anything non-rap and R&B. So digital hardcore is pretty interesting for me to listen to. What do you think? Let me know down below. This was a Life Happens video, and stay tuned for more. Peace.